Hey, Billy, how do we help young children make space for their neurodivergent peers? What do you tell a young kid?
So yeah, I think what we know is like understanding, if we think about like a lot of stuff we've spoken about from like how friendships are formed, it's about common interests, strengths-based approaches, like what's unique about this individual. And I think that understanding that everyone, not just neurodivergent kids, but everyone has differences in their preferences, what they need to thrive and all that stuff. And I think from a very early age you can do that. I do it with Evie. You know, she's not in primary school yet, but we still look around and meet the kids that we meet either on the street or even just people we meet and stuff like that, and think about, I wonder how they're going, you know, isn't that cool about them and all that stuff. And I think you have to be proactively exploring that, and not once again using compliance to be like, this is how you should feel about it, this is what you should think, and this is how you should behave. But exploring that strengths-based approach is really important, and understanding everyone is different. Like, that's a really important bit. Just because we can do something with a certain level of support around doesn't mean everyone can.
Hey, I love scripts, just to prompt my thinking. So you had one in there that was like, how do you reckon they're going, or what's going on for them? How do you think they're feeling? What else might you ask?
So say you're at a birthday party and you're with your child and your kid's bopping around having a great time, but you notice a kid who's struggling a little bit.
Struggling as in they're sitting
isolated,
on the side.
sitting on their own, not leaving. So there's a really good example of this actually, and this is a shout out to how amazing Evie is. Evie's got a little friend, you know, who is awesome, and a sensitive kid like me. And for Evie's birthday, a card came home and it was like, oh, I like Evie because Evie helps me feel safe. And it was amazing because we're like, Evie's, you know, wild and sensitive and like very much like me in those aspects, but it was this beautiful thing to see about her. And now we've been able to build this narrative in her because we've got a specific example of it about like how great it is that she makes sure that little kid is okay, and that little kid is struggling in that education environment. There was bullying that occurred. And it's been really interesting because we explore it with Evie and say like, you know, how's that person going? And then talk about, and it came out that one of the kids she plays with is excluding that child. And we didn't say stop playing with them. We just kind of went, I wonder how they would feel. I wonder how that feels to be having those things said to you and all that stuff, and just explored it with Evie. And then Evie on her own accord kind of moved towards the kid who was feeling a bit isolated and away from the kids that were isolating that child. And so instead of explicitly sitting her down and saying, stick up for that kid, stop playing with those other kids, you know, giving her, you know, demands, putting demands upon her. We didn't even make requests. We just spoke about it, and then she came to it of her own learning and thinking about it. And now we get an opportunity to reinforce that because she's chosen to go towards that path and supporting that kid and empowering that. And that's a relational approach to it. Do you know what I mean? Thinking about this kid that you know, what's the experience like for them. This is early theory of mind stuff. She's in that age bracket now. You know, thinking about that I think is really important, about just conversationally exploring it like we've talked about before, in spaces where kids have the capacity to have that conversation. Good. Not when they're in the heat of it, they've just been the person who's excluded that person, teased them, lashed out at them, whatever. It's about just doing that. But yeah, the party's another good example, just being like, oh, do you reckon little Billy wants to come and play? If they're forcing it a bit too much, let's just give little Billy some space and see. What do you reckon? What does little Billy like doing? He might not like jumping on a trampoline with 5 other kids. Maybe he likes just playing Lego with one other kid. Should we go and set that up, have it all there, and then just see if little Billy wants to play? And if he says no, we just go, hey, let us know when you do, because, you know, Evie's really keen to sit down with you and just play some Lego with just the two of you. You know, giving those options and facilitating and all that stuff.
I'm going to be asking for more scripts, Billy.
Yeah, good.
I love it.
Good.
This podcast is brought to you by Guiding Growing Minds, a social enterprise that aims to give all children the best opportunity to reach their potential and succeed in living rich and meaningful lives.